Hello everyone, I'm Elizabeth Shaw and this channel is all about the narcissistic personality disorder to give you more understanding of the people that you might be dealing with in your life, ways to handle those people if you can't go no contact, and to recover from narcissistic abuse. This video is how to detach your thoughts from the narcissistic ex, methods to remove the thoughts from the ex out of your mindset, or methods so you don't go back when you know you need to stay away but you keep going back, methods to work out to not go back, and when you know you need to leave but you just can't push yourself out to leave, methods to focus on getting out. So detaching yourself from the narcissist. When you are still attached to a toxic person, it's a few ways to try and turn it around, to get over it, to grieve, to leave the past behind. Well, you do need to grieve at first, leave the past behind and move forward to a much happier, much more joyful life for you. When you know someone is so bad for you now, so bad for your self-esteem and your trust and your happiness and your future, yet you just cannot get over that toxic ex and you keep going back, or you're still trapped in the relationship and can't figure out a way out. 1 minute they can be so loving, so kind, the next they stab you in the back, then they leave, up and leave, and then they reappear wanting you back. Mental abuse has so many devastating effects, and whilst you're in it, you don't even see it happening. Worst of all, they've made you believe it's all your fault. It is never your fault. When you're thinking it's your fault, you need to ask yourself, what did I ever truly do to be treated that badly? And you'll most likely come up with the answer of nothing. You love them, you cared for them, and you tried to help them. That does not deserve the toxic, negative behaviour towards you. You have to break the pattern of the thoughts within your mind. Just like watching the same movie, you know what's going to happen, you know the end, yet because of the good bits, you watch it again. Or that same track of music, the more you listen to it, the more it sticks in your mind. You might hear different bits from it each time you listen, or you might take different perspectives from it, which is great. Yet when you're listening and hearing the same things over and over again, that's what you're hearing and that's what your mind is believing and perceiving, and then your mind focuses on it. Like that song that you might hear that just gets stuck in your head for the rest of the day. Your mind and your thoughts need interrupting. Like when you're deep in conversation with someone and then someone takes you off topic and you forget the original point because your mind, your thoughts were interrupted. With the ex, unfortunately, we sometimes want to change our thoughts, yet because we've nothing perceived as more important to focus on, we're stuck on the old dreams instead of finding new ones, stuck on the old routines instead of finding new ones. We cannot shift those thoughts out of our minds. Or we get so stuck and caught up in the woe is me pain mindset, even though we want to, we just cannot. We have to find ways to make it a necessity, to make it a must. When it's a must, when our mind knows we must do something, we then take action to find a way to do it. If you have got out for the final time and you are now working on removing those thoughts from your mindset, you will know that just that one thing out of so many things, that one thing hit and it made it a must for you to get out, and you got out. And that must is what made you do it. So this is what you've got to find now. When we find ways and methods to break our thought process and make our minds work for us rather than against us, it helps us move forward onto a much happier, more joyful life. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's like if you write with your right hand and then something happens to your right hand, so it's too painful to write with it, but you need to write something, so you use your left hand. Because you know you can't use your right hand. That's, for whatever reason, you can't use your right hand, so you have got to use your left. It's a must that you have to use your left and you've got to write something. Yet when you start writing, it looks messy. It's uncomfortable. You can't understand it. it gets painful, your hand starts to ache because it's not used to it. You want to give in, you want to revert back, even though you know that your right hand can't handle it because, say, you've broken it or something and it's too painful. But you've got to carry on. You've got to push through that awkwardness with your left hand until you've cracked it. And it's the same with your thoughts and your mind. When it gets difficult, when you get into that edge where it's feeling painful and feeling uncomfortable, you've got to keep going for you so that you can change that thought process and move forward. So a few methods, depending where you are in your journey, whether you're still trying to break free, whether you're out, whether you're trying not to take them back, or whether you're trying to move forward. The first one is write down the story and tell yourself, next to the story in your mind, next to your thoughts, the truth. So you've got to write your story and your truths. But a few examples. We had an amazing connection. And then you need to put the truth. They learned everything about me, mirrored me, and faked it to get their needs met. Another one, they can change. So then you need to put things like, they've said they changed so many times and never managed it. What's different now? Nothing. That is who they are. It was never my fault. They acted that way. That is who they are. No one deserves to be manipulated and abused. And then if you're thinking along the lines of, if you're thinking of taking them back, or they've come for the Hoover and you're not fully recovered and you're thinking, maybe we could make it work this time, you're not alone. It takes an average of 7 attempts to get out of this kind of cycle of relationship abuse. Some get out the first time, some it takes longer. So wherever you are far from alone. But when you are thinking we could make it work this time, you need to start asking yourself questions. Things like, what's different this time to last time? And answer it honestly. Then if you're wanting to go back because you're fearing that you will never find true love, it's most likely because they have programmed into your mind that no one will ever love you like I do, and all the other toxic, I'm not going to swear, toxic words that they throw out there and your mind absorbs and then starts believing. You need to remember, you need to focus. If I go back to them, it'll take longer to find real lovers. They don't truly love me, they use me. And it is hurtful, it is painful, but you've got to get that pain, to get your mind, to get your thoughts to shift and move forward into a new, much happier life. And once you start working on you and learning to love yourself and learning your beliefs and your values, once you love who you are and know who you are, you then will mix with the right kinds of people. And I'm not saying it's because of who you are that you mix with the wrong people. That is not. What I'm saying is you are a good, kind-hearted person. So you can accept someone for being who they are, even if it doesn't match your beliefs. Whereas now, if you meet someone that drinks a little bit more than you would like, you've got to then start to understand this isn't my problem, that's their problem. They have every right to live how they want to live, but that doesn't match my belief. I don't think that's right. Or someone that gambles, someone that everyone's got a right to go and gamble. If that's what they want to do, they can go and fill their boots. But if it doesn't suit you, you have got to then take a stand and think, that's not the kind of thing I want in my life. I don't personally agree with that. You've got every free will to go and do that, but it's not for me. And walk away from those people before you get too deeply involved. Another method, what would you tell, what would your friend tell you if they absolutely truly knew everything? Detach yourself from the story you're telling yourself. Then think about your best friend. If the narcissist has cut you off from everybody, think of someone you used to be close to, someone that you truly cared about, who was always there for you. If the narcissist has cut you off, reach out to old friends. They may be willing to help. They may be good, understanding people that will help you. witness the whole relationship in its entirety through their eyes. What would they tell you if you're not talking to them? What do you believe they would tell you? They may have told you things in the past, and you need to start listening to those thoughts. And if you do reach out to them, explain that you were in a bad place, you recognise now that they were just trying to help you, apologise and build that relationship back up. Now, if they've told you things like this person is bad for you, they are toxic, they have mental problems, if they know about narcissism, they may have already told you that. If they told you before, believe them now, reach out to them. They told you because they care. So tell yourself exactly that and reach out to them. Another method, what would you tell someone if they were going through what you are now? Think of a couple you know. This is an example if you're still with them. Think of a couple you know. If one of those were treating the other, how the narcissist is treating you, what would you be telling them right now? I'm not saying go and tell them, I'm saying what would you be telling them? If someone is being treated like that. Or if you have split up, think of a couple that have split up. And someone was treating them like that. Even if you're making it up in your own mind, you have the ability, you have the imagination to make it up in your mind of a couple that you know that split up, and pretend that one was a narcissist and treated the other person exactly how yours treated you, and they've come swooping back in for them. You'd be telling them to run the other way. So now tell yourself to keep moving forward in life and leaving them in the past. When you are in it, your mind creates all sorts of stories to escape the pain with the help of the twisted words from the narcissist. When you step away from it, tell your mind the truth and keep telling it the real story until your mind has the real thought process. Another one, what's the reality of staying or going back to them? Think about if you stay or if you go back, what your life will be like in 6 months, in 1 year, in 6 years. The pattern keeps cycling. You deserve so much better than this. You've already been around it before. Start giving yourself a better future by thinking about how happy you will be. Start creating new dreams for you. Start creating new routines for you. Everything you can do without having the ex to answer to. The freedom, the joy and the happiness. And another one, remember you don't really love them, even if you thought you did. Obsession, trauma bond and attachment to anyone is not love. It's intense. It's mistaken for love. You think it's love. It is not love. It is those chemicals in your body that have been released because of all those highs and lows. It's not love. Are those highs really worth all the lows and the doubts? Ask yourself why. Why would I truly want to be with that person? Why and what can I do that would make me better off to no longer be around that person? Start telling yourself over and over until it sinks into your mind. It's not love, it's an addiction. It's not love, it's an addiction. Find a must. Find a reason why you must do something. Find your why. Find your outcome. And then your mind will find a way to achieve this for you. You need to stick to boundaries and if at all possible, no contact. Set boundaries and stop all contact. Grey rock if you've got children together or things like that. At the start, it's going to be really hard. It will get easier. You will have withdrawals. Keep going, it gets easier. Do it now. You have to go through the withdrawals. And the sooner you go through them, the sooner you will be out the other side. There is no other way. It's far better to do it now than in 10 years' time. After the withdrawals, you will reclaim your happiness. You are basically weaning yourself off a drug, so you need to step out there and find something else to fill you. Start new courses, reading books, listening to motivational videos, getting a new job, creating new routines, creating new dreams, finding new hobbies, finding new people. Anything to get yourself away from that addiction and get yourself addicted to something positive, addicted to learning about yourself, addicted to loving who you are, and addicted to finding out the things that you enjoy for you in positive ways. Discover that new passion for you. Replace that void that they leave behind with new activities, new friends, anything. Just get yourself busy and keep going so you don't go back, don't look back in negative ways. You can look back for the lesson. We all make mistakes. You can look back for the lesson, then carry that with you for your future. Sometimes it is not the person you miss, it's just the routine that you miss. When you're having those down moments, put some uplifting music on or call someone close to you. Look for things that you have achieved in life. Look for things to be grateful for. When they just pop into your head, acknowledge that they have and then tell yourself you are no longer interested. Find anything you can to remove those thoughts. Watch something funny, listen to something good, call a friend, start making plans for your future. Whatever it takes to reprogram your mind, you can and you will. Get help, support groups if you are isolated, so you can do it over the internet and keep yourself. It's difficult coming out of your shell and it's difficult explaining things, but when you get connected to people that have lived it, that have had the experience, that are there for you, it helps. Connecting with people, reach out to best friends, reach out to family, reach out to people that will help you. You are far from alone in this. You will, however, heal and recover. You can and you will. Thank you for listening. Bye.